Welcome to the Iconic Talk Show in conversation with Shaunak Mokashi, founder of Shaunak Mokashi Real Estate LLP. Welcome on board, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really great pleasure to be here.
Let's start off with a question on your journey. Please, can you kindly share your journey with Shaunak Mokashi Real Estate LLP?
Sure. Well, it's been over 15 years that I've been into corporate real estate, working with top, what you call international property consultants, IPCs as we call them, Cushman & Wakefield, CBRE, and JLL. So,
Right.
in a span of 15 years, I've handled the top Fortune 500 companies, real estate across accounts across 10 nations.
Wow.
And in some of the clients which I've handled, being Citibank, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, Xerox India Limited,
Right.
Diageo APAC account, including China, and many more.
Right.
In those career spanning 15 years, I have leased or transacted commercial space more than 2.4 million, that is 24 lakh square feet across 10 cities in India, and sold more than 70 crore of top real estate across,
Incredible.
thank you so much, across 6 cities in India. So while I've worked across the country, I've come into contact with many of the top landlords, found many of the emerging trends, etc.
Right.
That when I realized there is a gap for a need for fractional real estate to be made popular amongst masses,
Right.
and also the need for focusing on hotels, which are typically in the tier 2, tier 3 cities,
Right.
and also in the exotic scenic locations, which are untapped.
Right.
So I sense this opportunity when during my 15-year journey, and always had that thing on my mind that I will do something on my own. So I
Right.
decided to focus on this niche category.
Right. What prompted you to get into the hotel industry and the hospitality industry by the name of Shaunak Mokashi Real Estate LLP?
Sure. Great. Shaunak Mokashi Real Estate LLP, the reason being that I always wanted to be an individual brand,
Right.
especially in a service-oriented industry. Okay, it is all about individual branding.
Absolutely.
Like you see, most fashion brands, etc. They go by name.
Right.
My education has been predominantly in the hospitality industry,
Right.
done my hotel management, then my double masters from Australia.
Wow.
So I have dabbled in hospitality, and my in double masters I've done in hospitality and marketing. So I've already worked in the hospitality industry for more than 7-8 years. So
Right.
that's when I had developed that keenness to be again rooted to the same industry. Especially after coming back from Australia and working in Middle East for almost 6 years in hospitality, and again coming back 15 years in the corporate real estate,
Right.
I realized that there is a need for, as I said, fractional real estate ownership,
Right.
focusing on fractional real estate ownership. Then number two, pre-leased assets advisory, and third is buying and selling of hotels.
Right.
Post pandemic, there is a tremendous scope, because when during of my few months research, I found
Right.
more than 100 hotels plus 100 plus hotels across India, which are in tier 2, tier 3, and all this exotic locations where
Right.
we go for vacations, which are for sale. And these hotels are doing exorbitantly well. Only thing is, as an individual, they cannot hold on to the 2 years of pandemic,
Right.
bearing such higher losses.
True.
So I decided to typically tap this market because there's a good scope of hotel operators coming into India,
Right.
focusing on budget hotels, and in particular hotels in the vacation category,
Right.
vacation homes category, or vacation hotels category.
Right.
So that's where I totally decided, let me get into
Right.
this.
So the micro niche is buying and selling of hotels across
Micro-niche.
India.
Yes, buying and selling of hotels and fractional real estate ownership.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lovely combination
Yes.
in the real estate segment.
Yes, it's a very niche combination. Usually, you will hear consultants working in the real estate domain, in
Right.
commercial space or any other warehousing, etc., etc. But someone focusing on specifically hotels buying and selling and fractional ownership is something new, because no one focuses or exploited that kind of class,
Right.
asset class. So,
Right. You rightly mentioned that in tier 2 and tier 3 cities that the hotels are completely there out for buying.
sure.
Don't you think that the G20 presidency of India and the travel boost which India has got, the tourism boost rather, which India has got, it's adding to the hotel industry, buying and selling of real estate properties?
Fantastic. You touched upon a very important point, Nirali. To be very honest, this has definitely boosted a lot of tourism, especially bringing in much of what you call vigor and enthusiasm amongst hotel operators.
Right.
Plus, in the past few months, if you've seen, there is a tremendous exodus of tourism happening in India,
Right.
inbound as well as urban tourism,
Both of them.
both of them.
Right.
Today, you book any weekend destinations anywhere, they're almost full in these days,
All the year round, they're completely full.
completely full.
Right.
So the good thing is all these hotels which I focus on, I typically focus on hotels which are typically between 25 to 50 rooms and under 50 CR category. The reason being that hotel business is a very capital intensive game.
Right.
Okay, because investing into an asset, a payback, a return on investment, it's a very long haul game wherein is a waiting period. And a
Right.
hotel thrives on two aspects. One is occupancy and one is the food and beverage business.
Absolutely.
The occupancy being the very critical aspect
Right.
because that's your heart and your F&B business which equally contributes to this thing.
Right.
I have observed in this tier 2, tier 3 and vacation, what you call scenic location hotels,
Right.
they do exceedingly well in terms of occupancy. Only thing they are not able to sustain this 2 years of losses because they're individual.
Absolutely.
That's why they are for sale. So
Right.
this is an excellent opportunity for an investor because for a 50 crore, it doesn't pinch him that much in terms of otherwise buying a big 5-star hotel which is in 200, 300, 400 crores.
Right.
This thing where the debt and equity becomes a big challenge.
Right.
And that's where if the hotel does not do well, then you fall back on a stressed situation.
Right.
So these kind of aspects I've always taken into consideration, and that's how I got into this.
Absolutely. Brilliant micro niche because
Thank
let
you.
me share this with you that Kechi Dham, have you heard of Kechi Dham at
Yes.
Nainital,
Yes.
where Neem Karoli Baba resides?
Yes. Yes.
It's such a scenic city
Beautiful.
in the valley of Nainital there,
Yes.
and the hotels around Kechi Dham are all sole proprietor, just the way you said, individual owners, and they're up for sale because
Absolutely.
they can't sustain the COVID losses which they have faced,
Yes.
the 2 years of losses which COVID has given them. So I completely resonate when you say that the scenic locations of India, really the hotels
Yes.
are doing absolutely well, but they need a boost, and they
Yeah.
need people like you to absolutely come up there and understand the problem and understand
Thank you.
how they can sustain now with a new outlook of buying and selling of their hotels.
Absolutely. It just very well point you have touched upon Nainital location as a because there most of the hotels are individual proprietorship owned,
Right.
but the hotels are exceedingly doing well.
Absolutely. They're full
Exceedingly doing well.
completely.
They will. I mean, it's just a right professionalism or right what you call someone a consultant who can guide them in the right manner,
Right.
link them with the right hotel chain, link them with the right buyer, etc. That is all that is needed. And
Absolutely.
this comes with my 15 years plus experience in corporate real estate because we are taught to work in a process-oriented manner.
Absolutely. Systems are put in place in the real
Yes,
estate industry.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. At Shaunak Mukashi Real Estate LLP, what is your business model, sir?
Sure. Let me explain. Very good question. So, Shaunak Mokashi Real Estate LLP is just just 1 year old what you call firm, wherein we focus on three aspects in real estate, three asset classes. Number one, fractional real estate ownership.
Right.
Number two, buying and selling of hotels.
Right.
And number three, pre-lease asset ownership. Now, let me dwell upon each of them
Sure.
to make it very clear and make it very easy for everyone to understand what it means and how it is beneficial in general for everyone.
Right.
What is fractional real estate ownership? Fractional is basically you own a fraction of property out of a big commercial space,
Right.
out of hotel, etc., which I focus on.
Right.
Typically, any commercial space in India was always dominated by or is still dominated by top landlords and developers in the country who lease to Fortune 500 companies. But if you think anyone who's got ambition, anyone who wants to invest, they couldn't think beyond it because it's in gross.
Right.
Thank you so much to the advent of fractional real estate ownership platforms in India. This has paved a new way for investing.
Right.
A typical traditional real estate owning asset, a residential, commercial, etc., you give you yields or ROI not more than 4 or 5% or higher, 4%, 3 to 4%. In fractional real estate ownership, your ROI is almost more than 7.5 going up to 10%
Wow.
annually.
There's a gap there.
There's a huge gap and
Wow.
there's a need to educate what I'm doing is basically educating the masses, educating the professionals, educating every class
Right.
for this. Because the best thing in fractional ownership is you don't need big money.
Right.
You fractional ownership is basically you have a grade A building across India, whichever is identified, which is purchased by the aggregator.
Right.
They own basically it can be a single floor, it can be multiple floors, or
Right.
can be an entire building depending upon what the asset is.
Right.
So basically, you come in as a fractional owner of that space.
Okay.
Okay, you earn monthly rent proportionate to your investment. And
Right.
the best thing on exit, which is projected, because the leases run from 5 to 10 years. Whenever it's
Absolutely.
projected, you want capital appreciation like any traditional real estate, wherein you buy and sell it at a profit.
Right.
Here, the best thing are the four USPs. Four USPs for it. Number one, hassle-free tenant management, because you don't have to worry about getting
Right.
a tenant. There's a Fortune 500 company occupied, locked in for a good amount of years.
Right.
Number two, no maintenance issues. Number three, no property tax. Number four, very important thing is you don't have to worry while selling to look out for a tenant, because when you invest into a fractional real estate,
Right.
there are hundreds of people who have invested it. So whenever you want to sell your share,
Share.
you just have to project it on the platform.
And
Anyone will
it's
snap
gone.
it on.
Absolutely.
One. Plus, the best thing is your ROI. Why would you want? I appeal to everyone to understand what it is and educate. I can give a right kind of education. You can get it from anyone else,
Right.
but understand what this asset class is about, because somewhere the psyche has to change in India
Right.
that traditional real estate is the best.
Right.
So that is what I do in fractional real estate. Buying and selling of hotels, typically identifying 50 CR and below hotels,
Right.
typically 25 to 50 rooms in the exotic locations, scenic locations, tier 2, tier 3 cities
Right.
across
So
India.
Jammu Kashmir might be a good
Jammu
state
Kashmir,
for you.
yeah, presently I'm just waiting for the legality aspects to understand
Right.
government regulations, etc. Because
Right.
there is a cap on certain states,
Right.
despite opening up it up.
Right.
So I'm focusing on Goa, which is my biggest bet.
Wow.
Gujarat, Rajasthan, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Madhya Pradesh. I've explored all the locations. I'm working with partners across the country,
Right.
and that is how we work on it.
Right. You've picked the right cities right now
Yes,
and the right states.
thank you so much.
Yeah. And coming to the entire real estate industry, the ROI which you're talking about in the fractional real estate, the ROI is 7.5% is what you said.
It is a bare minimum 7.5%. On an average, it works out to presently I have two asset classes which I'm working on. Annual ROI average over a period of time is more than 9%.
Wow. That's a lot of money which is coming into the real estate market.
Absolutely.
And for the people who are investors, basically, the investors are going to be in a win-win situation out here.
Absolutely. And just a 25 lakh investment, you don't have to worry about it. It's just 25 lakh investment. It's like one can just think about it,
Right.
and like crores of rupees investing into buying a traditional real estate. So that's the beauty about it.
I like your micro niche. It's absolutely fantastic
Thank you.
because nobody is aware of this, micro niche in the real estate industry, and the awareness which you're generating to the real estate industry sector,
Yes.
to the youth rather
Yes.
would, and to the, of course, investors is something which is
Yes.
incredible.
Thank you so much.
Right. Or what are your USPs and why clients prefer coming to Shaunak Mukashi Real Estate LLP?
Very good question. Okay, that is the main core of your business, my business, or
Right.
any business. So I work on a model which is called ROETT. So right. So basically, what is
RO?
ROETT? ROIETT.
Right.
Right. I call it as a right. So
Right.
if you
Okay.
spell it, if you just spell it out, it is right.
Right.
So
Understood.
I'll explain you how it works on. This is my own invented model how it works.
Wow.
So ROI, that is your every investment
Return on
made,
investment.
return on investment for
Right.
fractional ownership, or it may be for hotels, or it may be for pre-lease assets. My only focus is ROI, because that's what any investor looks at.
Absolutely.
And what is the investor worried about? The investor is worried about his capital safety,
Absolutely.
And-
The capex.
capex. That's it. That is the only aspect we are worried about an ROI. Number two, okay, ethics, ROI, and then E stands for ethics. I've always believed and worked on the principle of ethics.
Right.
Ethical management should be a lesson in Indian schools, I believe.
Oh, I so resonate with this. It's the entire fundamental thing which I think every student must be taught
Everyone must.
any segment of education.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
Ethics is something which is so
It's
important.
very important, especially in real estate market. After so
Right.
many regulations coming in, after RERA and everything, still it is perceived as a very, I should not say, but it is perceived as something wherein things are not going wrong, the right way. So ethics is one of the backbone of my working style. Trust and transparency. I always believe working with trust and transparency with
Right.
all stakeholders, may it be clients, may it be every single person involved in that deal or transaction.
Right. Authenticity,
Authenticity.
integrity.
Be
I agree.
very, very, very honest and open with everyone.
Right.
Things not happening, be very transparent. Say things are not happening. Why not happening? What is the time frame required for it to happen? So one needs to be very absolutely transparent, ethical, and especially from investor standpoint of view, ROI driven. So that is my backbone for my work, may it be with clients and may it be with the brokers whom I work across the country.
Right.
I work on a principle of two words: collaborate and expand, or compete and diminish. So I only work on collaborate and expansion. Pan India, I've been working across only and only consultant brokers.
Right.
And usually a consultant or broker is perceived as a competition because they are very scared to work with another broker.
Absolutely.
I develop that comfort in them.
Right.
So that is the
Relationship building.
relationship building.
Absolutely. Fundamental in any
fundamentals.
business.
Absolutely.
Because people are going to do business with whom they trust and they know.
Absolutely. And this is the era of collaboration and expansion.
Absolutely.
Simple.
Collaborations, events, partnerships.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all.
How are you bridging the gap between real estate and hospitality industry?
Very good question, Ravi. In fact, uh, especially after pandemic, with pandemic, it has given way for, as I said, almost hundreds of hotels available for sale in India.
Right.
Now, as this I'm talking about hotels buying and selling aspects.
Right.
So basically, what happens is there's a need to educate, because hotel and buying and selling, not everyone does in India. There are very few players who do in India as consultants,
Right.
and do in a very transparent, process-oriented manner. I jumped into this aspect because I wanted to bridge that gap. Okay. First and foremost, most important thing is educate. Unless and until you educate an investor, may it be for a hotel buyout, or may it be for fractional real estate, or may it be for pre-lease. First, most important is educating him on the entire model, how it works. Second aspect is, most important thing is, develop that comfort with the client. Very important.
Right.
And also the consultant or the broker, what you call it as. Third thing important, be very firmly grounded, know your market absolutely well. I go to every single city in the country, wherever I'm supposed to sell hotel.
Across India.
Across India, I
Wow.
spend almost 3 to 5 days a week there, studying the entire market, the pros, cons, every single aspect of it.
Right.
Only then, when I'm convinced, then I sit across the table with
The consultants,
the owners, etc.
Right.
So this becomes very easy because when you are aware of the ground facts of how the hospitality industry is going to work, how the market is going to respond to you,
Right.
it helps me to bridge that gap. Education is most important thing, even for a hotel owner who's selling, or may it be a 25 lakh rupees investor for fractional ownership. You need to educate them right.
Right.
Once you educate them right, once you understand the difference between what is the inventory available in the market and what is the demand,
Right.
it's very easy to bridge the gap. And I tell you, collaboration helps you. I mean, you can't even think. It just happens that you get the problems which you interface, and they're just resolved.
Right. So collaborations are all about relationships at the end of the day.
Yes.
So I completely resonate when you say collaborations, because collaborations are the fundamental stone
Yes.
in building relationships out there.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what are the challenges that you face in the industry?
I'll break this question into two parts. One
Right.
is the client challenge, and the second is the consultant or the broker challenge.
Right.
Okay. In the fractional real estate segment, there is aspect of client, because here I'm dealing with professionals who are doctors, professionals who are engineers professionals, who are pilots professionals, who are every single class in the society.
Right.
You name the category, I've reached. Mathematicians, anyone, any single what you call profession, I've reached out to them. So important thing is educating them,
Right.
that
Bringing
is
the
the
awareness.
bringing awareness about why what is the difference between a traditional real estate investing and a fractional real estate investing.
Right.
What are the pros of it? What are the cons of it? And how the numbers for fractional real estate go from out of 10 to a traditional real estate out of 10. So
Right.
this is very important for them to educate the importance of hassle-free transaction in a fractional real estate versus typical psyche of traditional real estate.
Right.
Okay, I'm not
Through
saying
brokers.
through brokers or through direct interface. The
Right.
only aspect is you need to educate. Once they're educated, they understand it, it's done. Second aspect is my biggest challenge is when I work pan India for hotels buying and selling. The most important aspect or challenge that comes to me is the making the brokers or the consultants, local consultants, aware of it, because they are not aware of how things work. They're worried that if they share information with me, they will lose the deal.
Right.
So giving them the comfort level, bringing them to that speed, giving them the right kind of education of
Right.
how it works. Okay. First and foremost, what I do is the comfort level to them.
Right.
Bring them at peace that you're going to earn out of it.
True.
You're going to earn out of it, and not only earn out of it, you're going to learn out of it, and we're going to work for another 5 transactions ahead. That is the concept I want. I just don't want to work one-handed. I just
Right.
want to develop a good relationship,
Long-term relationship.
long-term relationships across India,
Right.
so that it's a collaborative approach.
True.
They should also grow.
Everyone should grow.
Everyone
Absolutely.
should grow. Everyone should grow.
Right.
So that helps me overcome that challenges. But yes,
Right.
educating is a big challenge, and fortunately, I will not say I'm an expert, but due to my 15 years corporate real estate experience, I've been able to.
That's
Convince them
incredible. Incredible. Right. So, what is your roadmap with Shaunak Mukashi Real Estate LLP in 2023?
Sure, fantastic. It's been just a 1 year outfit.
Right.
So what my particular roadmap for 2023 for I'll break it down into asset classes. For fractional real estate ownership is I want to diversify to more asset classes: warehousing,
Right.
student housing, then there's vacation homes.
Right.
Many aspects I want to explore because clients have been asking for it. Are there any other avenues, etc., into it? So this is what first aspect. I'm developing more collaborations and partnerships across continents, because it is also important for the NRI class, reaching out to more NRIs
Right.
for them to invest
Reaching the clientele across the borders.
across the borders.
Right.
That is my second roadmap, because your revenues and your numbers will automatically come in once your
Right.
strategy is clear. Number 3 aspect, especially in hotels buying and selling, is I'm reaching out. There are many hotel operators who are coming into India who are looking at budget segment and the
Right.
what you call vacation hotel segment.
Right.
So I'm tapping onto them. I have an identified set of investors who would fit into certain categories. So I have bucket of assets, fractional ownership, hotels, etc. Whenever a requirement comes in, I just place them into the right gap
Right.
to bridge the gap. So my roadmap is very clear. I want to expand, collaborate enormously by the end of this year, so that I establish a good foothold across India.
Right.
And second thing, diversify across asset classes.
Wow. Incredible.
Thank you so much.
So what is the message you want to give the youth who want to enter the real estate market and the hospitality industry?
Very good. This is most important. It is not a game of just money. Number 1, trust, transparency, ethics, TTE. These are the backbones of your work standards in any industry, as I said, but in real estate
Right.
industry, very important. Okay, you have to adopt that as your daily working atmosphere or your daily working standard.
Right.
Okay. As long as you are firmly grounded, you should be involved, or you should be talking to every single stakeholder involved in any transaction and engagement.
Right.
That is the only thing that will help you to put your best foot forward and move and grow in a methodical manner.
Well said, well said. Because the youth of today really need to understand what you
Yes.
just said: ethics, transparency,
Yes.
and trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Mr. Mukashi, for your valuable time, and thank you for being at the Iconic Talk Show.
Thank you. It's really wonderful being here, and I hope I hope it's a great collaboration.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.